A former Spurs midfielder has come out and said that Toney will join Tottenham. Reports are stating that West Ham are interested in signing Manor Solomon as the player is unhappy in Spain. Spurs receive a boost in their pursuit of Rodrygo. Nico Paz is still on Spurs' radar, and could Spurs move to sign long-term target Jonathan David? Here are your daily Tottenham news headlines. Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name's Craig and here are your daily Tottenham news headlines where I'll be going through all the latest news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube and are not already as yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Like, share and comment below. And if you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Okay, let's get into it. The Evening Standard report that Toney would be keen on a move to Tottenham, and that's according to David Bentley. The England striker is currently playing in Saudi Arabia at Al Ahly and has made a strong start to the 2025-26 campaign, netting 11 goals in 15 games across all competitions. He'll want to go and be in at Tottenham, Bentley said on Sky Sports. For him to go and play at the stadium with Thomas Frank, that's the perfect destination for him. If he wants to get into the England team, it's not about money, it's about playing to get into that World Cup squad. The perfect environment is Tottenham. Tottenham could do with him as well as England, and if anything happens to Harry Kane, we're struggling a little bit for centre forwards. Toney, 29, had been heavily linked with a move to another Premier League club last year before he made the switch to the Saudi Pro League. Bentley thinks that he would hit the ground running should he return to England. He's a great player, Bentley continued. Scoring goals in the Premier League is not easy, and the way he plays the game, scores goals, he's got to go to Tottenham, hasn't he? Under Thomas Frank, he had a great time with him at Brentford, and I'm sure they're talking. I'm sure that will be the number one destination for him to go to. Tottenham are struggling with centre forwards at the minute. Solanke is out injured, and Richarlison is not the level he needs to be, and Mawani's out too. He could be Tottenham's new signing on loan in January. Sport Witness are stating that according to Spanish reports, West Ham United have made contact about signing Tottenham Hotspur's Manor Solomon in January. They state that Solomon is struggling with the Spanish side at present. He joined them on loan from Spurs in the summer after spending last season on loan at Leeds. Solomon isn't happy at the club, as reported by several Spanish outlets this week. Reports have been the same in his native Israel. They've claimed that Solomon is unhappy with his limited playing time and has struggled to settle in Spain. It was even suggested that he's asked Tottenham about returning in January, and that's where West Ham come into the picture. They've inquired about signing him in the same month. The Hammers are expected to be busy reshaping their squad for Nuno Espirito Santo. While the striker is likely to be a top priority, further forward additions cannot be ruled out either. And according to reports, they've inquired about the winger ahead of the January window. Whether West Ham would like a loan or a full transfer isn't mentioned. For now, it simply appears that options are being explored before January rolls around. Team Talk report that Tottenham Hotspur have received a huge boost in their quest to bring Rodrigo to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, with a Brazilian report revealing that Real Madrid winger's preference should he leave Real Madrid, as the star's comments on his future at the Santiago Bernabeu come to light. ESPN Brazil has also reported that in the event of a departure, Rodrigo's preference is to play in the English Premier League, specifically for an English Premier League club. There are no official offers from any club at the moment, but according to the Brazilian report, if there is genuine interest when the transfer window opens, both the club and the player and his representatives will listen and evaluate the offer. Tottenham are not the only club keen on Rodrigo either, with transfer journalist Graham Bailey telling TBR earlier this month that Arsenal are also keen on the winger. Of course they are. Rodrigo's situation has not improved this season. As we reported in the summer, Xabi Alonso also always planned on making Ardo Güler one of his key figures, and that's come to pass. I'm told that Rodrigo is again considering his options, and one possibility is a switch to the Premier League, which could become a real option in January. He's certainly one to watch as we approach New Year. And sticking with Real Madrid, once part of Real Madrid's academy, Nico Paz has become one of the most sought-after young playmakers in Europe. The 21-year-old has scored 4 goals and provided 4 assists for Como this season. Chelsea have made an official inquiry about Paz's availability, recognising his soaring potential and the likelihood that his market value could reach €100 million in the coming years. Sources close to the agent's industry have informed Caught Offside. However, any deal for the player is complicated due to Real Madrid's buyback clause and 50% sell-on clause retained when they sanctioned his move to Como. Madrid hold buyback options worth €9 million in 2026 and 10 in 2027, giving them significant leverage. Arsenal and Tottenham are also monitoring the situation closely. Spurs are believed to have seen an initial approach rejected, while Mikel Arteta's Arsenal are trying to persuade Paz to consider a Premier League switch instead of a return to the Bernabeu. With Real Madrid's buyback options and rights complicating negotiations and Paz's stock rising with every performance, top clubs are going to chase the attacking midfielder, who is certain to have a bright future in the game. Caught Offside report that Jonathan David has been linked with a move away from Italian club Juventus, and Premier League clubs are keen on him. Chelsea and Spurs are in constant contact to sign the 25-year-old Canadian international. According to a report from Italian publication Tuttosport, the two clubs have been making inquiries in recent weeks, and it will be interesting to see if they come forward with an official proposal to sign him. The striker joined Juventus on a free transfer at the start of the season, but he has not been able to score goals consistently. The Italian outfit could consider selling him. He has been linked with multiple clubs, and it will be interesting to see where he ends up. Spurs are in desperate need of another striker. Dominic Solanke and Richarlison and Koulibaly have not been able to live up to the expectations or have been injured. We need more in attack. Signing the Canadian international could prove to be a wise decision. He has shown his quality in France before the move to Italy, and there is no doubt that he has the technical attributes to succeed in England. Perhaps a fresh start would be ideal for him right now. Joining the North London outfit could bring out the best in the player once again. David is highly rated across Europe, and Zinedine Zidane recently hailed him as an excellent player. It will be interesting to see if Tottenham can get the deal done. If they manage to sign him for a reasonable amount of money, it could prove to be a shrewd investment. The player is still relatively young, and he could improve with coaching and experience. He could develop into a top-class Premier League forward. Okay, here's my thoughts on all those stories. Firstly, Ivan Toney again. David Bentley now come out and said that he thinks he'll come to Spurs. It certainly does look like Ivan Toney's going to be on the move in January. But is it going to be Tottenham that he goes to? I could probably see this happening. The amount of rumours that are about Ivan Toney and his relationship with Thomas Frank, and apparently they have been speaking on the phone. Thomas Frank actually said so. I could actually see this move happening. The thing is, the player would obviously come to Spurs. I don't think I've got any doubt about that. It's just this wage situation, £400,000 a week. Spurs ain't going to pay that. And why would Al Ahly want to pay half his wages, get him off the books pay-wise? But, you know, there's so much money in Saudi Arabia. Are they going to even care about that? They probably want the player more, to be honest with you. How would I feel about Ivan Toney? To be honest, I've kind of softened on it. I wasn't sure about having him, but I think he would probably do really well at Spurs. 6-month loan deal. I don't think we've got anything to lose, to be honest with you. Strikers haven't exactly been ripping it up. Solanke's still out. Moani's out. Richarlison hasn't been pulling up any trees. I would personally take this deal, but get down in the comments, let me know. Would you take Ivan Toney on a 6-month loan? Spurs player wants to get back into the England squad, so he'd want to do well. Hopefully he'd do well at Spurs. Manor Solomon wanted by West Ham. I can totally see this happening, actually. I think Solomon would do well at West Ham. I don't think he's going to come back and get into the Spurs side. I personally think we need better than Manor Solomon. He had a couple of good games for us, but a couple of managers now haven't seen enough in Solomon to actually think he could make it at Spurs. So if we could loan him to West Ham, it doesn't sound like his loan's going particularly well at the moment in Spain. So get him back and loan him out to West Ham as long as you don't play against us and score, because that would be typical Spurs, wouldn't it? I could see this happening. I hope that works out well for Manor Solomon, if that's the case. Rodrigo, again in the news. Rodrigo, I'm not going to say much more about this, because this news that he wants to come to the Premier League, I'm not entirely surprised by that. It's the best league in the world, so why wouldn't a player want to come and play in England in the Premier League? It's just if Spurs want to get this deal done, as I've said in many videos before, and I'm sure I will speak about Rodrigo again. Big player, going to cost big money and undoubtedly big wages, but it would be certainly a statement signing for Spurs. So let's see how that one plays out. Nico Paz, an old friend, obviously, not to me, but to the club, have been interested in him for a while. This 50% buyback with Real Madrid, I could probably see the player going back to Real Madrid, to be honest with you, but really good numbers and a really exceptional player, exciting player, really good numbers, as I say. Well at his feet, actually, by the sound of it, Nico Paz. But let's see how that one plays out. And finally, Jonathan David, again, the Canadian, a player that we've been linked with for a few windows now. His name always seems to come up with the likes of Dusan Vlahovic and others. Again, a good player. Many wanted him in the summer and subsequent windows before. I wouldn't be against this again. I think we need attacking players to come into Spurs, and Jonathan David would be a good player to come in and help us score goals, which our forward line again have not been doing as much, especially when your centre back is your top scorer. So let's hope things will change soon on that. And in the new year, in the transfer window, hopefully we can get in a couple of forward-thinking players and big players that can undoubtedly score us goals. But they are going to cost Spurs, so come on, Enoch, get your money out and pay the money. That's all from me today. Get down in the comments, let me know your feelings on all those stories today or anything else Spurs related you want to talk about. And as always, come on you Spurs.